I want to debate something real quick. Me and Conan are obviously going to be on the other side of this. You'll be on your side. You've been critical of like your perception of Cross, right?
Not. Let
me give you my estimation of what we see him as a character compared to what you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I see WWE doing producing, if you think about like Luthez, Dory Funk Jr., back in the old days of professional wrestling, the champion was like a shooter.
Harley,
the guy that like, okay, you can't.
Yeah. Of course, okay. you want the top guy to be the toughest guy, sure.
So what you're seeing is the 2021 WWE production of a character that is a shooter and is undefeated, right? And that's what I see the thing. So the problem that like I see like a lot of the criticism of him is like you can't take a guy like him and just look at his matches and think, okay, that defines his character. Because what Cross does, and there's a lot of guys that are not good at this, and a lot of some guys that are. He's a great content creator in professional wrestling. If you give him a vignette, he kills it. If you give him a promo, he kills it. All this stuff leading up to the match, all the things that get the people interested, I think he's one of the best in the business at it. But unfortunately, there's always this mindset of like this mob mentality, this echo chamber in wrestling. If his match isn't up to quote unquote these modern day standards, he gets shit on. And I think it hurts.
Well, whatever it is,
trying to do with a guy like him that helps in the wrestling business to get more suspension disbelief back into the business. Go ahead.
I thought that the promo stuff that he's done for the Finn Balor match was great, but then there was the match, and then there was the ratings of the match, and it's like you kind of have to. It's like if I think something's great and it didn't work, I got to figure out why did it not work? And there's like. If this guy, like when Roman Reigns came back, if you don't like him, and a lot of people don't, the fact is that numbers picked up. Now, yes, are they lower than they were when he came back? Yes, but and part of that's NBA, of course, too.
The NXT audience is a smart mark audience of the WWE universe. It's not like that's not the audience you want to cater to. It's like I don't really look at that as a
well. If that's the problem, then hopefully when he goes to the main roster, it'll be different. But I can say like the Cross match with Balor, I mean, it did, with weeks of promotion. I mean, it did a not good number, and that was and I thought the promotion was great. I thought they were going to do a great number, and they didn't. And that's with Balor, who is of all the guys in NXT, the one with the most name value by far of anyone that's there. So it's not like he was in there with Kyle O'Reilly, who you can go as, well, Kyle O'Reilly's a great wrestler, but nobody's going to pay to see him type of a thing. If someone would say that. I didn't say that, but people will take that out of context. But I mean, I'm just throwing out a name. Yeah. Or but it's like, if a guy, to me, it's like, if you.
The whole ratings war thing of you guys talking about competing against a show that's looked at as their developmental AAA farm team that doesn't have a lot of name guys on the show. And we're still trying to talk about like the ratings for that show are kind of relevant. I don't see it like that. That's a show that's like you're not going to tune in and like every week I can't miss.
But they were hot shotting every week to compete. So you can say that, but WWE didn't put him on in that time slot to lose. Vince McMahon did not get in a fight to lose a fight. He didn't care.
Honestly, I don't.
If he didn't care, he would have moved them to Tuesday right away to get out of there. So no, he cared. He wouldn't have signed guys he wouldn't have signed journeyman guys to $900,000 a year deals if he didn't care. He obviously cared. I mean, it's like
fascinating how much guys get paid these days and how much the network.
Yeah. You know why they get paid? Because they get paid because there's alternatives to go. If there was no alternatives, these guys wouldn't be getting paid. That's what changed the whole industry, and that's what the first time that salaries went way up was when WCW finally could compete on a decent level with WWF, and WWF had kept the salaries down. And finally, when WCW started paying real money, Vince had to start paying real money because he was going to lose everybody. And that's.
Do you think the networks
bro, same thing happened in Mexico, bro. Arena Mexico had to pay money because AAA was paying money.
Yeah. Do you think the networks are making mistakes investing this much into this product right now when it's every year we're just grasping at trying to get the casual fans that they want?
Look at what they're paying for NASCAR. I mean, not even NASCAR, but NASCAR's declining. NASCAR's declining much NASCAR's declining much faster than wrestling, although it's still doing well. But
would you agree with that? Like these the networks are the money marks.
Well, the networks
they're the ones that are paying the money for like
the networks are under the impression that the future of television is live sports entertainment, and wrestling isn't quite sports, but it's close. But I mean, look at the NHL just signed a deal for what was it? Oh, like triple, and their ratings have declined more. You know, their ratings. There's weeks where the Wednesday when they would go against the wrestling, where they would be getting under 300,000 viewers, and they got triple the money, and they got way more. And soccer, because of the idea that the mentality of soccer is that a lot of the audience is younger, which it is. Soccer skews very young, but also affluent, and perhaps it is. I don't know. But soccer per audience member gets 9. Well, I shouldn't say it now. At one point when the soccer ad rates and the wrestling ad rates per capita, it was like a soccer fan was worth 9 times more than a wrestling fan. That gap is probably slowed, because I saw that when I was teaching, and that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. But it was fascinating to me that like an advertiser considers a soccer. If I'm a soccer fan, which I am, and I'm a wrestling fan, I'm worth 9 times as much to the station watching the soccer game than I am the wrestling game. And one of the fascinating things was, was with Spike, what they would do with the wrestling, because if you remember, TNA would precede Bellator, that they couldn't sell the ads very well for TNA, but they could for Bellator. So if they could get those wrestling fans to watch Bellator afterwards, then the wrestling fans had far more value to them than just being wrestling fans. So that was part of the marketing strategy with Spike years ago.
Well, isn't it crazy the basketball gets like 1.9 to 2 billion a year from the TV net, from TNT and ESPN, and
they get ridiculous numbers.
And a high number is 400,000. It seems like an astronomical number. Then you hear the NBA gets 2 billion, and you're looking at the ratings.
The NFL gets 11.
Why on earth is this an equation?
The NFL gets 11 billion.
Bro, it happened back in the day. Remember, Dave? We were beating the Atlanta Hawks in ratings, but they were getting way more money than we were.
TNT, his comeback game, promoted everything, did not even beat Nitro that week. So I was like, they could sell the ads for probably 4 times as much money. So what is it? Which is again part of the equation too. But I mean, look, these networks, the premium thing, and it's always going to be that, is going to be the NFL and the NBA. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. So they're always going to get the money. Yeah, Dave, we got to wrap.
I shouldn't say always, but for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Hey, we got to wrap up. You want to promote your stuff?
Yeah, just Wrestling Observer newsletter. You can go to www.wrestlingobserver.com. It covers all of the news every week, and we do audio shows. Brian Alvarez and I, Garrett Gonzalez and I do great shows every Friday night. And then got the newsletter, which covers the business in more detail than anything else. All over the world, Japan, Mexico, try to cover everything.
Yo, man, check out. I don't think there's anybody in the business that doesn't know about it or hasn't read about it, but we do have a lot of new fans. Check out The Observer. I can tell you, I learned more from The Observer than just about any other wrestler in the industry. So check that out.
Yeah. And I want to say, too, that our fans are going to be disappointed that we didn't have a knockdown drag-out, but like I said, I've always had respectful conversations with them. It's good having a good conversation with you. About
no problem.
That's the way it should be going forward with everybody. So.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you for stopping by. Hope to have you on soon again.
Okay, cool. We got to get you on time on a show soon too.
For sure.
Okay,
all right.
Cool.
Take care, Dave.
Thanks very much.
All right, bye.